Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my brush collection because I feel like brushes are super important, and from what I've gathered, a lot of my friends and family don't really use brushes. I'm going to show you each one individually because there's really not that many. It looks like a lot, but I'm going to show you each brush, what I use it for, if I suggest it, if I think it's a must-have for anyone just starting out. And so if you're interested in learning a little bit more about these guys, please stay tuned. First, I'm going to start off with these two. As you can see, they're incredibly similar. They're both from Eco Tools. This one is just a little bit bigger. I use this one mainly for my loose translucent powder, or just loose powders in general, or to just kind of blend things out on the face. If I see that like my bronzer and blush aren't really meshing together, I'll go back in with this sometimes and just kind of swirl it together to get everything to blend and look very seamless. This one I mainly use for bronzer, but I just kind of smush it down with my fingers and then get into that little groove right there. Or if I'm just doing kind of a all over bronze look, this is exceptional because it just really blends out things very well. It's small enough that you can kind of target where it goes, but it's big enough that it really blends out nicely and you don't have to work that hard at it. So that's those two, both from Eco Tools. A duo fiber stippling brush. I used this before I started using the brush that I use now for foundation, and I just kind of stipple it into the skin. This is stippling, if you're not sure. It's kind of like just pressing the product into the skin. And it worked really well. I really liked it. As a beginner tool, I would suggest this if you're into this. I would suggest other things over this, but this is a good product as well if you happen to be at Ulta and pick it up. This is also good for cream blushes or cream highlighters or cream bronzers, and it gives a very natural glow, which is really nice. So this is the Real Techniques stippling brush. Next one I want to show you is my short-handled MAC 1-2 something 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 something. It's just a short-handled blush brush. As you can see, it's almost the size of this bronzer brush I showed you earlier. It's just a little bit smaller and a little bit more round, whereas this one is more kind of angular, kind of rectangular. So this one I really like. I like it for the short handle because I can really kind of target where it goes, and I feel like I'm in a lot more control over the product. MAC brushes are really expensive. I wouldn't necessarily say you need to go out and buy MAC brushes. They're nice, but I feel like there are nicer ones for, or as nice ones for, less expensive. So although this is a very good brush and I really, really love it, maybe you can look at some different brands in this kind of really soft, almost dome-ish shaped brush for your blush. Brush is one that I got in a set of 4 from Royal Care Cosmetics. As you can see, it's kind of a round top kabuki brush. It is super dense, super thick. I use this mainly for contouring because even though it is a little bit big, in the hollows of my cheeks, it kind of fits like right in that general area, which is really nice. And since it is kind of so thick and dense, it blends out really easily and really quickly. And this is a brush that I don't use very often, but I've been looking for occasions to use, and this is just another one of the set of 4 that came with it. And as you can see, it's just a slanted kabuki brush. I've seen people use this for blush and it works really well. I've seen people use this for highlighters. I've seen people use this for a plethora of different things, but it's just not one of the ones that I use very, very frequently. But again, it could be in replace of this. So if you get the set of 4, you could use this instead of going out and buying this. Next is this one. As you can see, it's a tapered kabuki brush. The set of 4 they're all kabukis. And I really like this one for setting my highlight because since it is tapered on the end, it's really easy to get it precisely where I want the product to go, which is really nice. I've seen people use this for under their eye for their for blending out their concealer, which is also a good use of this product. If you're looking for something like that, I prefer a different application for blending out my concealer, but this is very good also. This would also be very good for setting your under eye concealer. If you just dip this in your powder and just kind of press it into the concealer, it'll set it a lot. It'll set your concealer a lot better than like just an all over dusting of powder. So this is one is really good. And the final one is my favorite of the set of 4 from Royal Care Cosmetics, and that is the flat top kabuki brush, which I think is awesome. Again, it's incredibly dense. It's incredibly thick. but I love this one for putting on my foundation. I just kind of do an all over application. Okay, so I had to scoot back a little bit if things look a little different from a second ago. The sun is starting to creep up on me and these lines that are right here are starting to move up. So I'm gonna make this fast. I actually have one more addition to the face brush kind of category, and that is my beauty blender. This is not the Beauty Blender brand beauty blender. This is actually, I guess, technically just a makeup sponge. And this is a dupe that I got from TJ Maxx forever ago. It's really great product. I don't see any difference between this and the original Beauty Blender. I love this. Once I wet it, it's just as kind of squishy and perfect for blending things out. It doesn't soak up too much of my product. It's an all around really, really great product. And this is a must have for anybody, anywhere that's wanting to do makeup. So now to the actual eye brushes, which are really, really important in my opinion. So the first brand that I want to show you is my EcoTools brand brushes. And I love these. Like I said about the face brushes, these are great, inexpensive starter brushes. So I have three very similar brushes, and there's just these kind of flat shader brushes. This is a really thick one. This is kind of just a smaller version of that, and that's an even smaller version of this one. So it's kind of like that. But this one I actually use sometimes for concealer, right, to get like right up underneath there. But most of the time I use it just to pack on color on the eye, just like either of these. I use these all to pack on color. The brush that I'm going to show you from EcoTools is the slanted eyeliner brush. And that's technically what this is for, but I use it for my eyebrows. This is a perfect brush for that because as you can see, it's stiff, but it's not too stiff. It's still very movable. I like the long handle on it. This is perfect for doing my brows. This is what I kind of started doing my brows with, so that's probably why I love it so much. And so this is another great tool if you're looking for something to do your eyebrows with, just this slanted eyeliner brush. Next is the pencil brush. I really like this because it's double-ended and it has a pencil sharpener at the end, which is really kind of neat. I really like this for going underneath my eye and smudging it out and really smoking out that color on the under eye. It's small enough that it can really get in there and be precise, but since it is kind of more dense and circular, I guess, it's really good at blending out underneath there too, just in a very kind of precise manner, so you're not getting it all underneath your eye, you're just getting it where you want it to be. So this is another really, really great brush by EcoTools. Now I just received these two brushes. I don't care for double-ended brushes, I'm just going to be really honest, because like I showed you earlier, I keep them in these on my vanity, and I don't like the idea of one of the brush heads poking down, and I like them to be free up here. I don't want it to get misshapen or anything like that. So I'm not super fan of these. This one has the slanted eyeliner brush on the top, and then just a more dense shader brush on the bottom. This would be good for packing on the color in the outer V and slightly bringing it in if you're not wanting to blend it all over the crease, but just kind of wanting to feather it out a little bit. This would be really good for that. I've got this side, which is a very blended side. It's super dense. It's incredibly soft. It's very dome shaped. It is beautiful for blending out in the crease, all over the crease, anywhere you want to blend out. This is big enough to get there, but small enough to kind of be pretty precise. So this is a really good brush as well. And then the other side I actually really, really love as well. Also for getting underneath my eye and kind of smudging things out under there. It's very short bristles and very densely packed. It gets in there and it really gets those dark colors and kind of feathers them out for you. So this is another really, really great brush. This is the MAC 213. I really like it for putting on color, packing on color in the outer third of my eyelid. It is super nice. I really, really like this. I don't know that it's completely necessary, but I do really, really like this and I use it quite frequently. The next brush is my MAC 228, and I really like this one. As you can see, it's a very, very small version of the one I just showed you basically. I really like this one for getting underneath my eyebrow and kind of putting on my highlight in there and getting into the corners of my eyes. I really, 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 really like this one. I like how small it is. I like how dense it is. I like how it blends it out pretty much on its own. I really, really like this brush, and this is again the MAC 228. Definitely like this one. And my final brush that I want to show you guys by MAC is the MAC 266, and it is just an angled liner brush. I use this for my gel liner, and I can't find a brush that I like as much for my gel eyeliner as this one. I've tried using this one for my eyebrows instead of this Eco Tools one. It does not work as well. I'm not sure why. It just doesn't. And I've tried this one with my gel liner, and it doesn't work as well as this one. So I don't know how they're that different. This one, as you can see, has a little bit longer bristles, and it's a little bit more flimsy. I don't know. I really can't tell that big of a difference, like looking at them and feeling them. But with the product, this works really well for my brows. This works really well for my gel liner. You can't switch them. So there's that. I'm going to show you my two Makeup Geek ones. This is my Makeup Geek Soft Dome brush. I love this brush. Don't know how I ever lived without it. This is really good for blending out in your crease, blending out your concealer underneath. You can do that. Blending out anything, this is really great because it's incredibly soft. It's incredibly flexible and bendable. It's not stiff at all, but it has a lot of little bristles in there, so it kind of helps diffuse the color to wherever you need it. I love this. Don't know how I ever lived without it. It's wonderful, and especially for the price. You can get this on makeupgeek.com. It is phenomenal. The next Makeup Geek brush that I want to show you is the Makeup Geek Outer V brush. I really like this one. I thought I was going to use it a lot more than I did. I've been watching Marlena's videos since the beginning of time, and she always talked about an Outer V brush, and I like this brush. It's really nice, but I tend to see myself leaning more towards this MAC 213 brush. I think it's probably more so because I'm just more used to this brush. But this is a very good brush. I like the size of it. As you can see, it's very, compared to my finger, it's very small, but it's super dense, super stiff. I really like this brush. I just don't see myself turning to it a lot. If you can see, it really fits into the kind of socket right there really well, which is why I can obviously see why they called it an Outer V brush, because it fits in that kind of bone area really, really well. So this is another good brush. It is a good quality brush, especially for the price. I really, really enjoy this. So for a professional gel eyeliner brush, I hate this brush. I don't know why I don't just throw it away. Probably because I'm a pack rat. And now my e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush. This is a lot bigger than like the Makeup Geek Outer V brush. As you can see, but I think they're meant for pretty much the same thing. I like this one for really packing on color. As you can see, it's incredibly dense. It's incredibly stiff. It's pretty soft. It's not as soft as like my Makeup Geek brushes, but it is pretty soft. It was only $3, so there's that. Comments, questions, anything like that, you want to let me know what brushes are working for you, or if you have any questions about a brush that you received and you want to know what you could possibly use it for, please leave it down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you, and I guess I'm done. Until next time, guys. Bye. Eco Tools. The sun is starting to creep up on my face. Talk faster. And I'm going to show you, ooh, these things are dirty. I should have washed them before I filmed this. Sorry.